everyone. Welcome to another Chosen Lifelines for Relationships. My name is Walter Jennings.
My name is Charmaine Jennings.
We're your chosen life practitioners. We have been called to challenge and change
relationship culture.
So many times in our counseling, couples, when they come to us, they are experiencing challenges with communication. And so with this Chosen Lifeline, we want to focus on unproductive habits or strategies when it comes to listening.
Mm-hmm. And with those, typically there are four. There are four usual patterns of listening that we all find ourselves falling into that really prevent us from being active, fully attentive listeners.
Now, it's important as we go into these to remember that these particular strategies in and of themselves are not necessarily bad things, and they don't come from a really negative place. Often people will engage in them to really connect with the person speaking, but the challenge is when these predictive patterns begin to overshadow the person speaking that is really supposed to be leading the conversation. And the first one is the autobiographical. This is when the person is speaking and you're thinking about a similar time when, for example, hey, I had a situation where the heel on my shoe broke as I was going into work. You know, something like that happened to me 2 years ago when I was going into a really important meeting. This is not about your particular instance when it happened to you, but this is about empathizing and listening with the person that is speaking. So we have to be careful that we do not allow autobiographical and our own issues to begin to overshadow the person that is speaking and sharing in the experience and situation that's happening right now.
All right, so that's our first unproductive pattern of listening. Our second unproductive pattern of listening is considered judgmental or criticism listening. That is when someone, they're talking about a particular topic. Like, I went to the grocery store and my 3-year-old toddler just fell out, had a temper tantrum, had a whole experience right there at the cash register, crying and screaming. And in the listener's mind, they're like, okay, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? And why are your children not well behaved in the grocery store? And what this is where you start to really impose your opinion, right? You're opposing your opinion about a situation that you weren't present at. You don't know whether the child has some deeper challenges with being in public. You're making these judgments and these assumptions about a situation that you haven't even fully heard the entire story. So judgmental and criticism listening is definitely an unproductive pattern of listening because you already are essentially starting to form your opinion about what happened, why it happened, and why it shouldn't have happened before you even heard and gathered all of the information.
The third unproductive pattern of listening is unwarranted solutions. Now, this is the individual that as they're listening to the person talk, hey, I have challenges with getting up early in the morning. I'm always late to work. I'm having challenges with my boss. This person then begins to interject their potential solutions to, well, you need to set your alarm clock, or maybe you need to have a conversation with your boss's boss when you have not been invited to the solutions portion of the conversation. So it is very important to wait and be invited into that solutions portion, because sometimes people just need a sounding board, which leads into this idea that as you're going into a conversation where you're asked to partner with someone as a listener, understanding and being clear of exactly what your role is. Now, this does not mean that you don't have a solution at the ready, but you want to just be very mindful and respectful that you don't invite and impose your solution into a situation where it has not been requested.
All right, and the fourth unproductive pattern of listening, guilty of this one, really. And most of us are probably guilty of all of them, right? But the fourth one is called inquisitive listening. This is where the person is sharing something, I talked to my sister the other day, and I talked to my brother the other day, and they're all going through issues and this and that. And while this person is sharing their information, you have more and more questions. Your question list is just stacking up. Typically, this is an individual that you probably ask questions. It's probably who you are, right? But the inquisitive listener can run into challenges where you're not really listening because now they're talking, but now you are going deeper and deeper because you're asking all these questions in your head, when is that really the focus of the conversation? And so sometimes you have to just let the questions go and be present, listen completely, so that you can have that one big question, the core question, the essential question that you need to ask. You can have that one question ready. But if you're an inquisitive listener, oh my gosh, you have 50 questions that you are ready to ask before the person has even finished speaking. And so that can be an unproductive pattern of listening because you miss the core and the key piece of information that they actually want to share.
And again, to be clear, these particular patterns are unproductive because what they do is they take the attention away from the speaker and they put it on you as the person that should actually be partnering with them in the listening. So be mindful of these particular patterns. Be sure to combat them by allowing yourself to be a more productive, present, active listener. And that means allowing your mouth to be closed and your ears to be open and in tune with the person that's speaking.
Yes, and this is your chosen lifeline for relationships. We want you to have healthy relationships with your partner as well as with yourself. And so all of these strategies, we're here for you. We are your chosen life specialist practitioners, ready to have you call us and book us for a session. And so please visit chosenlifespecialist.com and book us for a session. Book a free discovery call for you to find out more about who we are, what we do, and why we're here.
My name is Walter Jennings.
My name is Charmaine Jennings.
We're your chosen life specialist practitioners where we have been called to challenge and change
relationship culture.
Did you wake up this morning and didn't recognize the person you had been in a relationship with for years? Have you been misinterpreting your partner's verbal and nonverbal cues? What's the most difficult conversation you've been avoiding having with your partner? The support, skills, and strategies are just a phone call away.
Contact us at chosenlifespecialist.com.
Chosen Life Specialists, where we have been called to challenge and change relationship culture.